Oh man, Alan, what's going on, man?
Morning, Kirk.
Um,
I wanted to I was eating some grapes and I want to get done the grapes. Well, I'm not done the grapes. I'm done eating the grapes while we record,
oh, that's I should have followed suit. I did. Good morning is a strong word. It's morning. For me, I woke up later than anticipated.
Mm.
I did not eat. Had some water, had some coffee, feeling good about that. And yeah, now I'm ready to discuss thoughts, topics, ideas, and feelings.
Ooh, and feelings. So look, the first thing that I wanted to come on and say, I did a I did a Instagram live thing the other day. These dudes, really good show. Everything was cool and all that. It was great.
Okay.
Shout out to the homies. They're watching this. How do you feel about people eating during podcasts and during lives and stuff?
I have a strong disdain for it. When you mentioned the grapes thing, I was like, oh, I hope that doesn't mean he's gonna be eating grapes during the podcast. I'm not gonna like, yeah, I mean, there's some times where I try to refrain from saying something, but I've stopped mid conversations to be like, hey, do you want me to call you back? I've done that multiple times. I don't care for it. I think it's okay in some realm. I guess it's not the worst thing, but I think for me personally, I just don't care for the noise, and it feels like maybe an inconsideration of my time.
I don't like when people are chewing too loud in person, or you know what I mean. Like, if we go out to eat, we have lunch, which is me and just talk. You just like, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like, I'm like, yo, what are you doing, dog? Like, relax.
oh my gosh, so I try not to be judgmental, whatever, but I feel like I've lost ounces of respect for a few people that have done that around me. And
Ounces.
yeah, it's not even like they're doing it to like be disrespectful or whatever. But it's just like I can't focus on what you're saying if you're doing that as well. All I'm thinking about is the noises you're making, your lack of awareness are just unknowns of the noises that you're making. I'm thinking of just that. So if you're chewing loudly in front of me while like speaking about something important, know that I'm not paying as much attention to the important detail, and then it gets me frustrated.
Right. It's your doctor trying to give you a diagnosis. You just don't even know you have that disease. But since your doctor's eating while he's talking to you, you're just never going to.
It's like, Dr. Raskolnikov, why are you eating pancakes in the middle of this diagnosis? How do you even get in the room? Please put your mask back on.
Proper Ebonics.
Welcome to Proper Ebonics. If you're listening to this, feel free to eat if you're just in listen mode. That goes for you too, producer Pat. You're welcome to eat as well. You and I are in non-eat mode right now, Kirk and Alan. We could sip on that scissor, but we can't be eating on those grapes.
Last time we recorded, producer Pat was making like chicken legs. He was over there. He was over there meal prepping last time.
He turned the camera back on and he had like a whole entree, like ribs out and everything. I was like, how do you do that all in an hour?
Like
He's
he says,
using proper bonics as a timer.
he's eating ramen. He's eating ramen right now.
Oh, did you
Is
put
it?
that in the chat or you
Yeah.
just? Oh,
Is it gentrified? Is it gentrified ramen with vegetables, or is it just a straight up the one pack out the bag, the 10-cent John? Is that which one is it? It makes a difference.
my go-to ramen. I put a little bit of the seasoned packing in it, but I also put peanut butter, soy sauce. Sometimes I'll do like a chili thing in it as well. It's very nice.
Peanut butter?
Yep, peanut butter. It's like a Thai mix to it. So it's if you're adding peanut butter and soy, that's a lot of times like what they use for like just Thai food.
Yeah. So I don't like the Thai food, the peanut butter base, like the non curry type, like like not non curry, but what I had the other day. I forget the name of it, but it was Thai. It was like
Smuckers.
I forget what it was. It was like Skippy. No, but it was from a Thai restaurant, pad Thai, whatever. It was like peanut butter. I didn't like it. I don't like peanut butter in like noodles. That's just another.
Yeah, it could be hit or miss. For the most part, I'm okay with it though. I like the element of crunch when I add the crunchy peanut butter to it.
Mm,
So it depends. But I usually do that as mine. I don't really care for doing like just the ramen. I feel like it's like too much sodium.
yeah.
And sometimes I'll splurge out. But for the most part, I just kind of mix things up. I put like fried onion in it, and yeah, makes it kind of a full meal. Adds more nutrition. Fried onion is not necessarily nutrition, nutrition, but it is good. It is good.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I put the little boiled egg in that joint, give you a little bit of protein too. You know what I'm saying?
So that's wild to me. You're putting egg in it. I know that's a thing people do, but it's foreign to me. I never thought to put egg in my ramen.
Bro, I gotta put you D with some stuff, man. I can whip- I can I'm telling you, I be banging with the best ramen on the East Coast, bro. Like I
Really?
really get busy with the ramen.
Wait. What kind of ramen you're getting? Where it's the best one? Like you're making it into the best one, or you're getting a
So
certain
like
packet?
I feel like I eat a lot of ramen. Like I tried different lot of ramen restaurants, and I'm good with making my own. Like I'm saying, like I'll put like I can do like a type of like a pho based broth with the ramen type thing. I can do like a Japanese type ramen with the like ginger and like this a soy sauce and type stuff. Like I really get yeah. I be
Ginger in
doing
the mix.
I be doing a little shit with my little ramen. I get little some cabbage and some carrots. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just make it all happen. You know.
Chef Alan. I was about to call you Ginger Spice, and I was like, wait, I think someone has that name.
It's taken.
Yeah. But this week has been okay. This week has been okay. Before I get in my week, what's been popping on your end?
Yo, you know what I was thinking recently, yo? I be forgetting the past. Like
That was deep.
what I mean is like because I don't have like a structured day that goes by like the days of the week really don't matter to me. I just keep up with like when when I have shows. When I have shows is the only time I need to know the date, right? So if I don't have a show like scheduled for like a day or two or three, like I don't even know what day it is. You know what I mean? Like every day is just like it's so like when I think about like what happened last Tuesday, like I don't know because I don't know when Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like I don't know when Tuesday was.
You have
Like
so much stuff going on that it's just like it all gets kind of mixed in.
no, it's not. It's not that. It's that sometimes I don't be knowing what day of the week I'm on. I gotta literally sit and think, be like, oh, it's Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, so
Oh.
when I think about what happened last Sunday, I don't know because I don't even remember that it was that day. I can remember like, yo, I did this, but I can like remember jokes that I write. Like, yo, I wrote this. I can remember that, or I can be like, yo, I did this sometime last week. I can remember what I did sometime last week. But sometimes for me, like pinpoint the day that I'm like, I don't know. I know what I did on Sunday, but I remember I had some ramen sometime last week. You know what I mean? Like,
That was a Wednesday endeavor. Yeah, for me, it's not a right away unless it's like a big event. Then I'm like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I definitely did that on like Friday or Tuesday, which I don't really have big events on Tuesdays. Usually, I'm able to break down by, or if I'm doing like a mic heavy week, I could understand like, oh, this mic is on this day, or I
right.
drove back from the city on this day, and it was because I was at this Tuesday event, sort of thing. So usually I have to think about it, but I'm pretty good at remembering like, oh yeah, that was the day for it. So I don't feel that as much. Um, this week was pretty much that though. There wasn't anything distinguishing. Um, Tuesday I did go to a Phillies Funniest just to watch,
Mm.
which was cool. That was like
Did you sign up for that?
I am, yeah. I'm doing it on July 12th. So like a month and a half from. Oh, I guess no, it's no over a month from now. I was about to say a month and a half, but yes, July 12th. Gonna do it. Could be
Tuesday.
fun. Feeling good about it. I think we've talked about it before. I like the idea of less so the competition aspect of it, but having an event of like, oh, this is I'm working towards this.
Yeah,
Then whether it's like, oh, get solid 5 minutes down and go to Mike's to prep that up and decide which ones you want to do.
yeah.
The competition part, that's cool, whatever. I'm not as excited about that part, but I like the idea of like prepping up for a particular event.
Yeah, I feel like when I don't have anything like coming up in the near future and not working towards something, I feel like I don't get anything done. But like I find sometimes I write my best stuff on the way to shows sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I think I'd use, I'm not gonna lie. If I think about it, I'm gonna use it. Like I'm using it. But like, yeah, but if I'm like just chilling at home, I don't have a show, I may not come up with the same stuff. So like you working towards this date, I need this amount of time. I gotta punch up this joke, or you know what I mean? Like you got a deadline. You know what I'm saying? I hear people when they talk about goals in real life, like give your goals deadlines. You know what I mean? Because it gives you like a date to work towards. So if you just got like this, oh, I gotta finish this joke, you just get around to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think there's some things where it's just like, oh, you can do it without having necessarily like a deadline. I think a lot of times things will come naturally. But for me, I'm with you on that. Like if I have some sort of deadline to work towards, it gives me structure. And I find structure is helpful for me in completing things. Shout out to last month's goal, the add a tag a month or add a tag per joke per month. It's just
12 tags a year.
Yeah. Not bad. But no, this one a little bit more focused. It was and inspired from you, Alan. This is create a tag for each joke, or just a tag in general, every day. And it usually led to sometimes writing more than one tag, but it was at least one tag per day for the month of May. And that was a good one to set a goal for, because it gave you a structure of like, all right, add something to this, at least one per day, and create like a list of just all your bits and which ones you want to add to. Sometimes I went back and added things to the same bit that I tagged earlier in the month, came back to it, was like, oh, here's another one for it. It kind of gets you in that mode. So that was definitely a helpful goal, and having that less of a deadline and more of a structure of what you're going to be doing on a daily basis. That was helpful.
Yeah. Now, what do you say like the percentage of things that stuck were? You know what I mean? Like things that you actually use now.
I want to say, in terms of ones I've actually performed, it's up there with maybe 40 to 50%. It's not all of it.
No, that's really good, because I was thinking like if you can get like 50% of that,
Yeah,
that's good. You know what I mean? That's a really good ratio.
it was nice the first time, like after doing after starting the goal and then going to a mic and trying the stuff out, and some of it worked. I was like, oh, cool, all right. And
Yeah.
just the ones where it's like you feel it sort of thing, where you don't have to remind yourself about it, because there's a lot of them where it's like you have to go through the notes, like, all right, what was the thing that added to that, which is
Yeah.
fine. But the ones where it's just like you just know in your head, like, oh no, I want to add this to it, those were cool ones, and those are the ones I think are going to stick around. And the more you do something like this, the more of those you get.
Yeah, I was going to say that the ones that you don't have to look in your notes about, those are probably the ones. Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones. That's good. Now, the goal that I had set to do last month, I completely didn't do it.
It happens, man. I'm curious about this goal, the recalling teenage years mischief. I think that could be a really cool one because you have a lot of stories.
The goal was to every day write about that time, try to find the funny and some of that stuff. And I didn't stick to the goal that I wanted to stick to, but like, how do I explain this? Like the way I write jokes sometimes is I'll just have an idea, a premise in my head, like before I even write it down. It just be like this one thing I think about, and I'm just always just thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like before I write it down. So what this month did give me, like I didn't every day write stuff down, but I feel like I was thinking about that time period and in my life more, and I did come up with some jokes that have stuck. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the 30 days that I wanted to get in like 30 different jokes. But I did come up with ideas that I have used on stage already, and I was like, oh, okay, like this, it's not. I'll take this. Like this is good. It's a good start, because I had nothing at the beginning of this month. You know what I mean?
Right. So, it's nice to even like if not doing like officially whatever, to still be in the mode for it.
Mm-hmm.
Of just like, all right, well, this is something that comedically I want to focus on right now. So sometimes even just like having that on the forefront of your minds is good too. It's cool you're able to try some of that out on stage.
Yeah, because I forget what comedian said it, but I watched something a while ago, and they said that they'll have ideas that just sit there for years sometimes. You know what I mean? Before it comes out to the jokes how they wanted to be. So like I think about it sometimes, like not every idea I come up with I gotta put it on paper right now. I think about it for a minute. I'm like, okay, where do I want to go with it? Oh, I remember this. I could probably add this to that. Once I start getting like multiple ideas about the same topic, then I'll try to put it down on my phone and like, you know what I mean, like run through what I have or whatever. But like, yeah. So I think this month though, for that time period in my life, I was like, okay, we got some things working. You know what I mean? But just to focus on that was good.
Was the comedian you're thinking of, was it Monique by chance? Is that a quote from Monique?
No, it was either Monique or DL.
Oh man, I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you did. Pat, if we could get the music for comedy beefs. So Monique and DL Hugley, they did a show together in Michigan earlier in the week. I think it was earlier in the week or last weekend. And
Detroit.
Yeah, it was in Detroit, and they have a history. DL being one of the kings of comedy, Monique being one of the queens of comedy. We all know both of them. And there's always been a little bit of turmoil. I shouldn't say always, but over the last, I want to say decade, turmoil when it comes to Monique and people's perception of her and just the reports of working with her. And I guess this is one of the first times that DL has worked with her and can decide to move forward with that. And for those that saw the clip, DL may have regretted that choice.
Yeah.
Alan, what did you see?
I seen a promoter just booking 2 headliners and getting away with it. That's all I seen. I don't know. I guess Monique wanted to be the headliner. DL wanted to be the headliner. DL ended up being the headliner. Monique wasn't happy about it, so she voiced that on stage to the audience before she started her set.
Like 12 minutes. And it was like a 7 to 12 minutes of her just really going at DL. Like, I'm sure she felt some animosity before this due to their history. She really let all of that out in a vitriolic nature. It was quite wild.
Yeah, man. They said she dropped a YouTube special.
She really did.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever recorded it with their camera phone is that got credited with being the director. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm sure that's like in the millions by now. I don't know how I came across it, but that's something that for those that know both comics, even if you're not necessarily the biggest fans, you got to respect both of them. Both, I think Monique's hilarious. I think DL's funny too, and just the idea of like, oh, let's get both of them on. It's like, who would headline that? A lot of times you think like it's like a co-headlining situation, and both of them released documents from the promoter showing contracts in which they were the ones signed as being the headliner. DL dropped his shortly after Monique did the stage. Then Monique dropped one, and there was some talks about the validity of that one. But imagine doing that on stage, or not doing it on stage, but you're in that situation, like DL situation, and the comic before you, who is like headline caliber, is just wilding, or just putting you on blast, not even like jokey roast mode, like straight up like questioning your sexuality, how you dress, your goatee, like your credibility. And the crowd, half of them is like, woo, like they're all like super into it. And then after doing that, you have to then go end the show, headline, and do 45 minutes. What is that like? What kind of lifestyle is that?
I would have killed it.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Good about that?
The crowd's already, they want to hear like, what he gonna say, yo, what he gonna say. Like no matter whose side they on, they were like, yo, what he gonna do? And you get to go last. You know, you watch battle rap. Like you get to go last. Come on. Like, I get to come back. I'm be on the side of the stage, like just thinking, just ruminating.
Thinking of rebuttals.
Yeah, like come on, bro. You're gonna 8 Mile her. Like, you know what I mean? You're going.
They didn't do so. I didn't see any footage of DL's performance. I don't know if he did any like name flips or anything like that, but we didn't see anything from DL, which makes me wonder if he, almost like how Chris Rock, when he first came on stage after the whole incident, he acknowledged it for like a good minute and then just did his normal set. I wonder if it was that sort of situation, because there were no reports of DL going off on her.
Yo, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we got this YouTube special from Monique, but we don't even have an Instagram story from DL. You know what I mean? Like, There's nothing. Like, I want to know what happened. What did he say? And then I watched his response on his morning show, radio
Right.
show, and he didn't say what he said either. I want to know what he said. Does anyone know?
Yeah, my guess is that he didn't go off. It seems like he didn't enjoy that experience from him, because I saw his radio show rebuttal as well, and he noted that how she watched him after she made the mess, which makes me think maybe he was uncomfortable with that. He made the statement of and you created this fire and then you watch. That's what arsonists do. I don't know if you caught that line.
Oh yeah, I did.
So to me, that's saying like you then just watch the show afterwards, and he didn't really comment so much on how the show went. So he didn't seem too pleased in his radio rebuttal either. It seemed very much like he was kind of disturbed by the incident.
I wonder if he was even there or heard it, because it was at the beginning of her set. Like, he wouldn't be just standing at the end of the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
He was there though. He did note like he was there when he came down from the hotel. So I'm sure someone had to tell him prior, like, all right, so before you go out to this crowd, just know that a few statements were made.
right. Because I'm saying he might not have heard what she said exactly to be like getting rebuttals for it. You know what I mean?
Huh. When I watched Monique's, um, there's some things where I was like, I guess it's justifiable to be upset at this from the stuff that she was setting up and saying, of like from her perspective of the situation, which would later go on to be uh, combated. It wasn't disproved or anything like that, but I was like, I guess it would make sense to be a little upset at this situation. You're told that you're going to be a headliner, you come up, you're not headlining, and then she brings up the history of being on his previous radio show and all that and stuff that were said to her.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I don't know if they told Monique that she's the headliner and she's get there and she's not the headliner. I'm unaware of why she's so mad at D.L. Hugley.
Right.
He what, you know what I mean? Like, he said that he's doing the same thing you're doing. You're saying you want to be the headline. Like, so what? You should be mad at the promoter or something. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think that DL should have called all that smoke. You know what I mean?
It was directed all to, and she dropped some other names too, but it was like all towards him. She was framing it that he was saying that he refuses to get on stage as the co-headliner thing. So that's how she was framing it. But it did seem very much like there were some misconnections with how the show is being promoted and organizing of the show.
Yeah. So what it seemed like to me is, maybe I think she wanted to just shoot at him. That's what she probably had that in her heart for a minute. You know what I mean? Since she was on his show. You know what I mean? And she's like, I finally got something. Let's just let it go. Let that chopper sing. You know what I mean?
There was one thing. There was a mention of the way they broke it down. They said there's an issue with white bookers and there's an issue with black promoters. I was curious what your thoughts were on that.
Like, into what regards though? What do you mean? Like, this? Are they beefing with each other? Like, what's we talking?
No. That's a fun one. That would be a very. No. They're saying like in relations to show productions. So they're saying that the idea that like, there's a lot of white bookers and they don't really add many diversity to the shows, sort of thing. It may be the same type of lineup that you're seeing on same flyers every time. And they're saying that in black comedy, promoters, in terms of organizing, there's issues with that, which I haven't experienced, but I know that that's something that a lot of people have been kind of, when this first came out, that was one of the first things that started coming up a bit more.
I feel like I've seen unorganization across the board. I've been to well-run and very nicely organized shows across the board. Like, I don't think that it's like a black and white thing. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to shows that I seen the headliner shouldn't have been the headliner. Like, I've been to shows that, like, everywhere though. So it's not like, yo, I'm going to a black show, I know it's going to be unorganized, I know it's going to be some mess. No, I've been to some beautifully run black comedy shows. Like,
right.
I'm weekly comedy shows, monthly comedy shows, like, everywhere. You know what I mean? And then I've been to some white ones that are good too. Like
Right.
they run smooth like a train on the tracks. You know what I'm saying? They just
I
keep
think
chugging along.
that's what I'm not saying, man. Like, I feel like most, actually, maybe not all, but yeah, I would say like 96% of shows that I do and have done have been just fine. I wonder if it's just a matter of like which ones we're selecting
Yeah.
are like the type of shows that we're on, because it doesn't really, I never really bumped into too many situations where it's like, all right, the show's going to start at 8 and then it starts at 10:30. I've never been in that situation.
I might have.
Yeah.
Like, but I knew, but it wasn't just like just a comedy show. It was like, what was this? But it was just like some. Yeah, I have, but yeah, it was a comedy show that was run by music people that didn't know what they were doing.
Oh boy.
So they were just like, when the audience gets here, want to start the show. You know how they think, like music people think they can just go to a show and they just perform at the last 45 minutes and the show starts late, and it's not. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it, though. You know what I mean? But it's never. I don't think it's never. Yeah, I don't be like, yo, it's a black show. It's gonna be good or bad. It's a white show. It's gonna be good or bad. It's just we're gonna find out when I get in there. Everything. It's just. I think it's a toss up. Like it's not like.
That's
Yeah,
how
nah.
it should be.
That's why I was genuinely confused when you asked the question at first. I was like, oh, are they beefing? Like, what are you talking about?
A very specific type of beef. No, I think that's the attitude to go in for all shows. Really, you can't really look at it like, oh well, this is ran by a particular organization, it's going to be this or that. I kind of just go in, do it, and
Yeah.
see what comes out of it.
Speaking of music shows, didn't you attend some music show a couple
Oh
days
my
ago?
goodness. Oh my goodness, Alan. Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, no, last week I went to go see the band HAIM, the Band Center. Priest Pat, if we get a nice photo of HAIM right over here. Okay, is that Danielle? Is that Etsy? Is that Alana? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so saw HAIM, probably the 4th concert I've ever been to. I don't go to much concerts. What an amazing time. What it was spectacular, man. It was they brought out the hits and some, and it was like a perfect, like in terms of like you were able to see them from the Man Center.
Yeah.
There weren't really many bad seats. And we were up towards Terrence and all that. So it was nice. It was I busted some things out. What
do you mean? What do you mean? Like some dance moves?
I should probably put context behind that. Yeah. Yeah. Did some dance moves out there. Like that was shout out to Jackie. She came through and I warned her. I was like, all right, I don't know how much the rhythm can be contained. And she was on board for it too. She was dancing as well. And then first song comes on, Wildin'. Second song comes on, Wildin'. At one point, an audience member from behind us, that they were like on like the back of the Terrence.
Yeah.
We came down. I feel like a tap on my shoulder, and she's like, hey, I just want to let you know that we've been watching you and just want to let you know that this is a whole vibe right now. So she just wanted to come dap me up. So that was pleasant. I was like, everyone was very with it.
So a nice couple called you a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah. Oh boy, I didn't think about that. Yeah. It's funny. It was actually just one lady, and I didn't think about that till afterwards. Like, oh, what if that was like her, like being like flirtatious, whatever. I wasn't in that mode. I was very much like,
like,
no,
get out of here,
this
lady.
is no.
Get
She was like, we chat for a little while and stuff too, but this is I did one of those. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so damn nice, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
No tears. They teased the song that I thought, like, damn, if they perform this, I may tear up a little bit. They teased, and I was like, oh. And then they went on to something else. But I was like, oh, I kind of wanted them to play that song. But that was a wonderful experience, man. One of the better concerts out of the 4 that I've been to.
Yeah.
It's probably number 1 or number 2. Run of Jewels was also pretty solid, but this was it was extraordinary time.
Nice, man. That's so good, man. Music concerts are such a good time, man. So it's great you had a good time like that. You did you do anything you should have been doing out there before you know? I know why people party at some of these parties.
No, I got a Voodoo Ranger, a Voodoo Ranger pounder for $13. and a twisted tea. So I kept it very minimum. Those are one of those ones where, like, because I know concerts you kind of just do whatever. I was content with just being in the building.
Nice.
I once acceptance sort of thing. I'll let her tell the story. Shout out to Jackie, who called a cop a doofus to his face. I'll let her tell that story.
Oh wow.
That was pleasant.
Happened.
It wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah, technically speaking, she looked a cop in his face and called him a doofus. So perhaps I won't tell her story. I'll let her tell it. But yeah, it was.
You were like, sorry, sir, she's drunk.
That wasn't even the case. Just unadulterated. It came from her heart.
You're gonna leave us hanging, Pat. You're just gonna leave us hanging.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, that's. I don't want to blow up her spot on that one, but.
What was your first concert you ever been to?
I think, like, in terms of, because I've seen live performances. I think I saw like Toy Story on Ice as a kid. Chance the Rapper at Kutztown, I think, was the first one. So I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't really. It was one of those weird things where it was good, but I didn't really know Chance the Rapper that well, like his music. Yeah. And I think particularly for like rap concerts, like the best part of that concert for me was before, when they were playing a Jay-Z song, because I knew the song and I was like, everyone was in tune to it. That I liked. But because I didn't really know Chance the Rapper that well, that and I was there with two people. My ex kind of just went out of obligation, it felt like, and she did not enjoy it. So it's like you're kind of there like, but yeah, it was fine. But I think that technically was my first concert.
Yeah, I think my first concert was Method Man, Redman.
Oh my God, Chameleon.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But let me tell you about this. Though. I didn't get to see Method Man and Redman.
Oh no.
Perform because I was there with my homie, and Cypress Hill was opening up for them.
Nice.
So it was insane in there, and
insane and where?
In the membrane. And my homie was too messed up. Like he couldn't like stand. I had to take him home. Like I had to.
Oh, it was just you two?
Yeah. You know what I mean? I had to take him home. You know what I mean? Like I was so mad. Yeah, because if you just like put him up like against the wall sort of thing, he probably would have got arrested or something like that. Like I had to. Like he was on a lot of things. Like I had to take him home. Man. Was this friend reimburse you in any way? Like, hey Alan, thanks for saving me. We didn't pay to get. We didn't pay to get. I knew the security guards. Oh, all right. Well, that's not so bad then. It is so bad. I didn't get to see them perform. Yeah, that would have been a wild one to see. Redman and Method Man. That would be a cool one. I don't know if they're ever going to come to Phantom, but if they did, I don't know what a rap concert Phantom would be like. Shout out to Phantom Power for those unaware. It's a venue in Lancaster that's kind of taken up a lot of what Chameleon Club used to do. I don't know if they get many rappers there. I mean, you perform there, right? So I mean, that counts. That's what I'm saying. The closest they would get is like when we come through, we do proper Ebonics live. I'm like, all right, well, this is a hip hop show, but in terms of like if they were to get like Ghost or something like that, it's like I don't know how that would. I think people would come. It's just I can't envision it. Idea for the next proper Ebonics live is have random audience members come on stage and freestyle. Are we sure about this? Yeah. When you said it just now about rapping, then you said Proper Bonds Live. For some reason, I just thought like that'd be a funny ass segment just to have people, like maybe even give them a topic and like just like rap 4 bars, go. Like I don't know. Yeah, it could be. He's like, no. It seems it would be fun. It would be maybe a little embarrassing for the people. And I feel like there's going to be some Edward opportunities. Like there's going to be like a lot of them are going to, and then that's going to be like, oh, now we got to address this. Kurt, let me break it down for you, Kurt. Please do. I don't give off you can say N-word around me vibes, okay? It does not happen. If it happens, it has to be addressed.
That's what I'm saying. If someone's like freestyling,
But what I'm saying is it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to go up there. Like, it's not going to be like they're not going to hear us talking for a while. It's not going to be the first thing we do. Like, hey, Papa Ebonics, come rap. Like, no, they're going to know who we are, what we stand for. Nobody's going to be up there disrespecting like that.
that's why no one's gonna go up there. They're gonna be like, "Well, no, this may be in my arsenal, and I don't know, it may be released." When I freestyle, it's like fluid. I don't know what's gonna come out.
You just can't help it.
Yeah, that would be tragic. Like, oh man, we have to have this conversation with Kyle Neff now because he tried to freestyle. Kyle always on our radar.
All right, so there it is. It won't be happening, guys. Sorry.
But with that though, let's get in some goals. Mutual goal, which I think that is something we aim to do. It's been a while since we've done proper Ebonics Live. Things are opening back up. I think we aim to actually like do that again.
January 2020.
So yeah, that's right. It was officially, that was the beginning. That was how I remember 2020 started. We did proper Ebonics Live, and then other stuff happened. But that's
we started the coronavirus at that show.
Yeah, it was a tight room. No mask, no vax. We were wilding. Producer Pat suggested it was a sick show. All right. Tags from the underground. My goal. So I have a goal. It's a non-comedy goal. As noted before, I was working on Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, and I spent my Saturday night finishing Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. So I'm done with the book. And my goal now is to process it a little bit. I did a little bit of writing and all that stuff last night, and I want to write an official review of this. I haven't written an official book review. Like I do like the Instagram stories, or like I rate them and give like a synopsis or whatever, but I want to write like a full-fledged review of this. So my goal is to write a review for Crime and Punishment. And
you want to write a book? You write book reports?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I write book reports and I give a little review on it. And then that way, when say like a year from now, I go back and maybe want to revisit the book, it's kind of hard for me to reread full books. When I have a book report or something like that, it gives me the essence of how I was feeling about the book in the time when I had just read it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna aim to do, that, see how it plays out. And I'll also report it back on here, just my full thoughts on it. Because yeah, it's definitely an interesting read. Sticks with you so far.
Hey man, you're good. You're a good reader. I like that. I was watching a podcast recently, and there was like comedians and they're talking about books, and one comedian was like, "You read books?" And I was like, "She's like, what's your free time to read books?" And I was thinking like, it's a good time to read books. It's your free time.
Only when you're super busy.
Be in traffic, like
you're on a roller coaster, just like going through. I think a lot of times people put like a superiority stamp when it comes to books. I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of times it's good to read, especially if you're into it, but a lot of times reading can be a distraction. If you may have a goal that you want to do, like at work or even comedy writing, a lot of times books can be just as distracting as your phone or TV. You're pretty much just going off to escapism in a way, maybe a more mindful form of it. But also, it can sometimes promote isolation. If you're really into just your books, it could kind of promote that. So there's a little caution when it comes to read with caution, people. That's what I state to that.
It was to say everything in moderation.
Yes.
Then you'd be good. All right. So my goal, this is something I've been thinking about, because I don't know, I go back and forth on this a lot. And my girl always says I shouldn't vocalize some goals, not goals, but like you ever hear about like saying you want to do something, sometimes it's just as pleasurable as actually doing that something.
Yes, but in what regard? Like,
so like I've said a goal on here one time, this is probably like 6-7 months ago at this point, that I wanted to put out on a YouTube, like a short comedy.
A Monique special. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, like a Monique special. I never did. And I think about it, it was like, was me saying that the satisfaction that I was looking for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, So I'm back there again though. So now I'm here. I've been thinking about it, and I'm here now, and it's kind of like I do want to put that out, and I don't want to just be satisfied with once again now saying that I want to put that out. You know what I mean? I feel like I should be a strong enough person to vocalize these things and then also take care of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. What do you think
so
you're finding from that?
so what I'm finding is I need to be more strict on myself. What's the word for that? I need to be more
Like follow up,
follow up. I need to, you know, yeah,
diligent.
discipline. That's the word. I need to
Discipline.
be more disciplined with myself. I mean, yes, I can vocalize these things, but I also need to have the discipline to follow through with these things, follow up with these things. So that's what I want to do. I want to put out, once again, like I'm saying, like some kind of content, something, maybe a YouTube Monique special, you know what I mean? Something though. I want to put something out there because I'm back again in the same place where it's like, there's people that really never see me perform if you're not around these parts, you know what I mean? Like, you in the Midwest, West Coast, you ain't never seen me. I'm good on South. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to put something out to the, yeah,
It'd be solid if you do, man. I feel like the stuff that you do put out internet wise is always quality. And for it to have like your stand up on the internet too, like in like a special like that, especially because you've been thinking about it so much, that'd be odd if you did it. So rooting for in that one. I think that's a very interesting distinction. The idea of like verbalizing something and that you getting satisfaction from that versus actually doing it. I think that's something that a lot of people go through. Do you feel that recognizing this that it may give you some reservations in voicing things that you want to do, or do you think it is still good to voice it?
no, it definitely still gives me reservations sometimes. So I do find myself like holding back some things until it's like signed, sealed, and delivered. Like until I, you know what I mean? But I also want to have the discipline and be strong enough
Hmm.
to just be like, you can say it and still do it. Like, don't be a little punk. You know what I mean? Like,
So,
like
got a little aggressive on yourself on that one, player.
yeah,
Pretty
man.
easy.
Because you remember I said this like at the beginning of the new year, like for the new year, I want to put out this kind of. Because now we're at the point where I don't tell my coronavirus jokes; they're just gone now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if I would have did it at the very beginning of this year, a lot of those jokes would still have been relevant, and I would have had some content out there and just been done with it. But now I'm just done with it, and it's nowhere. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess I could do the, but like it's a whole hunk of material that I could have put out as a little 10, 15-minute little special thing, and that'd have been that.
I hear that part because it's not that it's necessarily topical, but it's timely. Those sort of jokes, especially with things going on. I think it maybe be fuel for when other timely things happen that you'll remember, like, oh, when I had my coronavirus spits, now I wasn't able to utilize it to full effect. Now I know for this one, let me try to put that in.
That's what it is. That's the topical thing. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, you're right. 100%. If it's hot like that in the moment, if I don't have bottle it up, put it out. Like it's gone now. Like to me.
I'm very interested by that distinction on it because I know it's a thing, and but actually to hear it reframed that way of like the satisfaction of saying something versus the satisfaction of doing it, and the short term and long term satisfaction that comes with two mutually. There's something right now. I'm kind of like I'm not sharing because just like it's like, oh, it'd be satisfactory to
Yeah.
share this, but I know that it's not fully there. It's sort of like when people sometimes do it with like pregnancies or whatever, of like maybe you're trying to have a kid. That's not the thing that I'm holding off, by the way. That's not my thing. I'm not dropping hints with that statement. Just trust me. I'm not Gilligan is not on his way. But a lot of times people will do that. They're like, oh, I'm not going to announce that I'm having a child until like a few months into it, sort of thing, because all this stuff that kind of come around it.
Yeah, no, yeah, but this is a thing that like I never even thought of this concept until like my girl told me, because I was telling her like one of my homies, one of my comedy homies, I ain't gonna say his name. He don't be doing like he be saying he gonna do this, and this, and this, and I be like, yo, it's a good idea. Go do that. he just don't be doing it after that. And I was venting to her like, man, I wish he would just follow through. That's a dope idea. And she was like, he's happy with just telling you. You know that, right? Like he's like, yeah, he's satisfied. Like he may not know it, but it's just satisfying to say it how you want it to go. Because in your head, you're like, oh, that went great. And you're just like, you don't even realize it though, but like he is just content right now with just speaking it. And she was like, she's like, sometimes she even said, she's like, I don't even vocalize my ideas because I don't want to get satisfied with that, hearing that. I want to just get satisfied with the doing.
That's the one danger of vision boards that no one ever talks about. Sometimes you could have so much fun and ambition and satisfaction built after you paste all those photos onto a white chalkboard.
It's the thing though, vision board, you're looking at, you're not speaking it. So you see it, you're viewing it every day. Now, if you was saying it every day,
yeah,
that'd be different. Then it'd be like, oh, he really mean it. He's gonna focus and he's saying it every day. But like vision board, you're just seeing it every day.
I got some satisfaction. I created a vision board for 2022, and on it, I had a purple mattress because I was like, I'm gonna get a purple mattress, and I have not gotten a purple mattress. But boy, oh boy, did it feel good putting it on that board and saying that I was going to get a purple mattress. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get one, but in the time being, I like looking at the photo.
Where you get a purple mattress from in the first place?
Oh, so it's not like actual purple mattress, but like the brand Purple. Like they have it's like it's a type of brand, and they're nice. If you ever see me in a mattress shop, know which ones that I'm laying on for a little bit.
I think it's funny you thought I knew that. Like
yeah, my bad. I thought maybe I overestimated how well known Purple is with their gel.
Yeah, you got the purple mattress. You know, everybody's about purple. Like I was like, where you get a purple mattress from?
I would get a purple mattress though.
Yo, that'd be some ladies' man baller type stuff right there. You got a purple silk mattress.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's. Oh, now that I'm getting a new room, sort of thing. The new room is going to be bigger. So I was like, oh well, now I can actually I held off on getting a mattress because the room wasn't big enough, the one I'm currently in. So now I have a bigger room. I was like, once I get a bigger room, I'm gonna get a purple mattress. I'm gonna get Alyosha, the snake, and I'm finding that my mind is occupied with other things. But I guess we'll see.
I went to an African festival last week, and there was a girl there. She had a snake. She had the snake wrapped around her hair like it was a bun. It was dope, and the snake was just like hanging at the top of it. Everybody's taking pictures with her and stuff. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh, that must have been like probably like a ball python if it was just chilling there for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a snake person. I don't know, but it was like brown, gold. It was like gold and black.
Yeah, could have been. There's a few other ones. I was about to say I have a fair idea of some snakes, but my heart is set on the corn snake. So we'll see. It's a type of snake. They're a little more. They move around a bit more than the ball pythons. Like if you were to have like a corn snake on top of your head, it wouldn't be on top of your head for more than a minute. It would be roaming around underneath your shirt and inside of your watch and all that stuff. They're lovely.
So do these snakes, do they cut their teeth out so they can't bite y'all or something?
No, they have their teeth. It's like cats. Like cats have their teeth and they can bite you. So yeah, you can get bitten by a snake. There's different degrees of like snake bites. Like a corn snake, they're not huge and they're known for being pretty docile.
Yeah.
So they have to really be agitated or frightened for them to attack. And it's not even attack. It's like they'll bite you. It's not anything too crazy.
So it doesn't hurt. It's just like
I should say I have not been bitten by a snake yet. From accounts from all my snake homies though, it's not the worst. Shout out to my Pete, Pete, who, because you have to be mindful of like not feeding them with your hand if your hand smells like the mouse. There's like a whole thing for it. And I guess one time he put his hand in the tank after handling the mice, and then his snake like got his arm pretty good. And he even that one, he noted it wasn't like the worst thing, but I've seen that snake and it's a big one. I was like, that looks like it would be painful.
No, look, I should just not putting your hand in snakes' cages after fondling mice.
Yeah,
Like, what do you?
I suggest that too. Yeah,
That's supposed to be a proper suggestion of the episode. You know what I mean? Because that's insane, crazy.
yeah.
We should do that. And we should do proper suggestions.
Yeah, some prop suggestions. Prop suggestions.
Here's my suggestion. I literally thought of my suggestion while like an hour before this episode we started recording. I was watching something on Netflix. I didn't even know it was there. It just popped up as a suggestion, but I'm so glad that it did. It's called The Hall. Have you seen this?
No. What you said, Netflix?
Yeah, it's called The Hall.
No,
The
but
Hall.
it's on.
So look, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So what it is it's a Hall of Fame type ceremony for comedians,
Oh.
hosted by today's comedians. So the show was like the first comedian that hosted. So the four comedians that they're putting in, they call it The Hall. So they're not saying like they say at the end of the performance, they say this person has been inducted into the Hall. You know what I mean? So the four people are George Carlin,
Okay.
Robin Williams,
Okay.
Joan Rivers,
Oh, nice.
and Richard Pryor.
Okay.
And then they have today's comedians like talking about them and telling some jokes and then like presenting an award. So they had Jon Stewart, Chelsea Handler, John Mulaney, and Chappelle.
Oh.
And fucking Pete Davidson was the host. So it was like super dope. I'm sitting there watching. It was like, how did I not know this was a thing? Like,
so what are they doing exactly? So they're talking about the four comics that are on the hall, and then those four comics, the contemporary ones, they're then being inducted into the hall.
No. They're the ones they're the ones inducting each. So like Jon Stewart inducted Richard Pryor. I'm not sorry. He inducted
Like
George Carlin into the hall. So he said some words about George Carlin and his life and what he did for comedy. And he was telling jokes too. You know what I mean? So it's like a monologue, but about like George Carlin.
I see. Okay, it's like almost like the Mark Twain Award sort of thing, but it's for four other, and it's like a Hall of Fame for comedy.
Right. So then after Jon Stewart got done talking, they like showed like a 3-minute video montage of like some of their stand up and things they've done in comedy, and it was dope though. You know what I mean? So it was like I was literally in the middle of watching it. I didn't even finish it yet. You know what I mean? So it's like so that's what I'm saying.
Because that does look good. So it's Joan Rivers. Who inducted Joan Rivers?
Chelsea Handler.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's fitting too. Nice.
Right. So they had like the like John Mulaney inducted Robin Williams, and they're gonna have Chappelle induct Richard Pryor. You know what I mean? So it's like I guess it was part of they did this during the Netflix is a Joke Festival.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder if they're gonna continue that and do other like induct other people into the Hall of Fame.
I think if they do the Netflix is a Joke Festival every year, then they should probably just do it every year.
Who do you think, just off the top, who are 3 people that they could add?
I'll probably say they should do like even more old schooler people like Red Fox and people back then. You know what I mean? Like who else?
I want to throw 3 names out. I'm gonna go Lenny Bruce,
Yeah,
Don Rickles, Mary Tyler Moore, or
Mary
Carol
Tyler.
Burnett. Yeah, Carol Burnett. I'm gonna go Carol Burnett.
What about Moms Mabley?
There you go. Yeah, that's really throwing it back too.
Yes, I'm saying go way back. Man, you got so many people. Yeah, I think you should do it every year. I think it'd be interesting to see who they would get, what contemporaries they would get for each year. You know what I mean? Like
I
interesting
want
to
to see
see
who Monique throws in there. I want to see Monique do a speech.
Monique gotta introduce. She gotta induct like Bernie Mac or some shit like that.
Yeah, Monique needs to do herself. I think that would be a rad one. Just Monique inducts herself into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bernie Mac though.
Right. No, it was, but that's what I'm saying. I suggest that people watch The Hall on Netflix. It was dope to see. I'm gonna finish watching it after we done recording. I was like, oh, this is nice right here.
Let me check that out. My prop suggestion is this Friday, which I'm sure this episode may be released maybe a day or two before Friday, on June 10th, Out of Towners comedy showcase at Steel Stacks Visitor Center. We're doing it out there, man. It's finally come around. We got Nicole Phoenix, Shane O'Connor, Ice Jackson, and Daphne London, which I'm very excited for the lineup. I think it's going to be a good turnout. We're going to see how it plays out, sort of thing, in terms of that. But I think this is going to be a good one. And for those listening, I know you like the podcast and all that stuff. If you like the podcast or just like comedy in general, this is going to be a good show. So come through, Steel Stacks. It's gonna be a nice time, giving out high fives and such.
How you feeling about it? You feel good about it?
I'm feeling excited about it.
Good.
It's like I've been planning this for like, I suggest this idea to them like 2 months ago when I wasn't like me as the host. I was like, oh yeah, like have someone host from nearby and then have people from out of town come by. And they're like, oh, that's a good one. Do you want to do the lineup? I was like, okay. And then doing the promotions for it and getting the word out, asking the comics to do it. It's been nice. I'm always a little antsy when it comes to like turnout. That's always the thing for me. So that part, I want it to be obviously like a, not just for me or the venue, but for the comics as well. I want them to like have like a really good audience to perform in front of, especially for some of them that have never been out to Lehigh Valley before. So that's something that I want to go well, and I'm a little antsy about, but overall I'm excited for the show.
I don't think that's something that gets talked about enough, is producing a good show for the comedians. Because when you said that, like I feel that, like it's like you're people that have never been to the area, it's their first time, or if it's like your first event or your first time doing this kind of show, like it's, you want to go well. So the comedians telling you like, yo, this was a great show. That's a really good feeling. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's even like from like a visitor standpoint, like when we jump on stuff that maybe it's people's first show or they're trying something new. Like I know you're doing the Black Box Theater June 24th. I did it the 2 months ago when they first did it. And I know that was a good feeling for them because it's like, oh, they put on this on and they got like a good audience for the comics. And as a guest, it was like, oh, cool. Appreciate the work that you put into this because now I have this audience, sort of thing.
Yeah, I had that same feeling this past Thursday. I brought back the Mass Hysterical Comedy Show. I got my room back in Brooklyn. So it's like but I did it at a new spot. You know what I mean? It's a place called Satellite Art Club.
Okay.
It's like a real like hipstery, like trendy type. It's like an artsy.
It looked like a bookshop almost.
The outside of this, like the outside of the spot, it doesn't say the name of the venue. It's an old Blockbuster thing. Like it's like a Blockbuster awning up front. It's dope.
Yeah.
So
This is
like
Brooklyn,
people,
right?
Yeah.
That sounds very Brooklynish. Yes.
Yeah. Like on the inside, it's like, you know, like art on the walls is like pink and like purple and blue lights. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like during the show, they had like this TV monitor. I should have told him to turn it off actually. But it was like burlesque dancers just like slowly dancing.
That's not bad. That's not too distracting.
Well, but so every picture I took or every video I took, it's like in the background, it's just like some burlesque. But it was like they have some dudes, some chicks, just like, you know, just dancing. So it's like this was my first time doing a show there, so I was nervous, and I had a couple RSVPs. I was like, okay, but my first time there, and my first time working. It's my first time booking some of these comedians too, and it turned out to be good. Like it was. I knew it was a good turnout because it was hot in there. You know what I mean?
It was like in terms of the body heat.
Yeah.
I get that.
I was like, okay, I'm a little moist. All right, good turnout.
Okay, I gotta take my scarf off. All right. Oh, I gotta take my mittens off too. Damn, we got a hot crowd.
Yeah.
If I think I saw, I see your stuff on your stories, and I think I know the room you're talking about. It looked like you got a good turnout.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. I don't know. I mean, I could say we might have sold it out because I think it was pretty much in there. You know what I mean? It was good. You know what I mean? So it felt good though for the comedians that I haven't worked with before to see. You know what I mean? Like, all right, good. It's gonna be, felt good to. I've been to a lot of shows in places that are just random places like that, and it's just so bad and empty, no energy. So it's just good to make them feel good. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Bro, you've been to one of my conversation clubs where it was like, it's like 5 people, like because they had it like in a movie theater. And so it's like a 200 seater with the first 2 rows somewhat filled. So like I've seen that side of it too. Michelle's Conversation Club, we've had ones where it's like excellent turnout versus some that have been on those.
Yeah.
Luckily with this one, we're at an earlier time slot. So it's not like we're at 10:30 at night. We're earlier time slot. It's been something we've been spreading the word about for a bit now. So we'll see, man. I'm hoping for the best, and overall, I think it will be okay.
Yeah, every time I do a show and it's like not a lot of people, I always like refer to your show. I'm like, it's okay. I've done shows way worse than this. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's well, yeah.
I shouldn't say it worse, Chef. But like we're way less people. It was I had a great time.
It was a fun show. That's the thing.
Fun.
It was an inventive idea. Who knows? We'll see what Conversation Club comes to.
I think your shows are very creative.
Yeah.
Like my comedy shows that I produce, they're just comedy shows. It's just like host, comedian. You know what I mean? Like yours are like you think about things. It makes you step outside the just their traditional stand-up box. You know what I mean? So I think that. But talking about the Conversation Club, you know, I'm pretty sure Out of Towners sounds like it's going to be like just just a great classic comedy show. You know?
Yeah, it's like a loose theme of like, oh, they're from out of town, which kind of like every comedy show, those people are out of town. But don't tell them that. No, well, it's kind of a cool idea because we're gonna have like a monitor there of like with the city that they're repping. Shout out to Ice. He was like, yeah, I want to rep Florida. I was like, you're from Florida? He's like, yeah. So we're gonna have.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I thought he was from Reading. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a Reading comic. So I didn't know the Florida thing before asking. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do Florida. He also raps, which I didn't know that either. So that's
any nigga named Ice Jackson.
I always think of Head Ice, the battle rapper, when I think of his name. And I'm like, oh, all right, that makes a little bit more sense. Ice. So yeah, man, that's gonna be quite the time. I wanted to touch base on 2 different things, you man. This is a hot weekend for Philadelphia, comedy wise. So Friday, we had the Roots Picnic Punchline. They had some special guest comedians. What was that special guest? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle came by. A lot of our peers got to go see Chappelle, and a lot of them were blown away by him, which that makes sense. Saturday, another hot block. Shane Gillis packs out Helium. I think they did like 2 different shows. And then John Derry, he did this porch show as well, which I thought was a very cool idea. Which I regret I actually wanted to make it out to that. This is one where it's like, does it feel sometimes like whether you see like a lineup of different things happening in the city, even if you're not on any of the stuff, to just maybe just to come through, not even necessarily like, oh, maybe I'll get stage time, but just to be in the atmosphere of cool things happening. How do you feel about that?
If you're free, I think you should do it. And try to get stage time.
Right.
That's what I think. I mean, like, it's 2 things. I'll do the first part first. The first part is if you're not doing anything and you feel like it, then I think you should definitely go. Like, that's not even, it will not benefit you more to not go. I can guarantee you that. Like, just being in the scene, showing your face. And there's people that like you never see them. You just continuously keep never seeing them. Unfortunately, that's the business of comedy. Like sometimes, unless you're like contacting people like online or you got their phone number and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like being in the mix is how you get on a lot of shows. That's just the nature of the business. And I recommend trying to get on the show for 2 reasons: to benefit you as a comedian and to perform and try to get on more shows. Like that's just the nature of the beast. Like I'm always like but I also won't want to be a pest. If it's like 8 comedians already on the show, I'm not going to like ask or like. Right. If I'm early enough, I'll ask. But I'm not like this. Like I'm not going to just come up there like 15 minutes after the show started. Like, can I get on? Like, I mean, like,
that's
you gotta make sure do it right. You know what I mean? Like,
you asked to get on the Punchline show, and you had to follow Chappelle. That'd be kind of a wild thing. Also, maybe a little exciting though. in a way. Like that's kind of a cool challenge. I feel like Chappelle jumps up and it's like, all right, I gotta follow Dave Chappelle now.
You following the headliner? Who you think you are, T.I.? Come on, man.
That'd be wild. It's like, well, I asked for stage time, and they said I'd get 5 minutes just after last performer, so I'm very happy about that. And then you find out the last performer. I guess any last performer is always going to be very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a nutty one. Yeah, it was just a crazy weekend here, man.
Yeah, man. Like Comedy Cellar, the Comedy Cellar. That's where the best comedians go sometimes, just to hang out. Like they're hanging out. Like everybody's hanging out. Like you don't gotta like me. I'm not the most out in the just hanging out person. I got responsibilities and kids, and I can't like just be hanging out sometimes and late. But I like if I'm free and I feel I'm out there. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to. But I'm trying to get on. Like I'm trying to perform. Like
yeah.
So I literally will look at the comedy scene, the landscape for the night. I look at all the flyers, see who I know is on where, what time start, what kind. Like I could probably get on here. Like I do that. Like I do that. Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm not much of a hanger sort of thing. Like I'll go to places like if I'm on it, and sometimes it's like, all right, very loosely though. Like I'll go thinking like, oh, maybe I'll get on sort of thing. Especially if it's a show where like either have like a mic afterwards, or their whole thing is like adding people on to the show like during the show. But I'm not very much one to just go, especially if it's like an hour away or whatever. Mainly just like the idea of just showing face. I'm like, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. It's just not how I operate, which may be a detriment in some way. But it gives me peace of mind. So there's that too.
So maybe is it a detriment though? Because if you're not peaceful and you all erratic and crazy thinking, then you might not be able to do what you need to do. Like
that's a very good point. I feel like the times that like I've gone places where it's like, oh, okay, well, if I do this, I'm probably not gonna get up until like pretty late, or like I'll just go just to watch. And then it's like, oh, it's usually for me, it's conditioning and staying up late. I think that's a big like staying out and like the anticipation of having to drive back and all that. I think for a lot of people, they'll hear that and think like, oh, if that's what's stopping you, then obviously don't be here. And that's what I do. I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm not going to be here. I have other places that I could do that could be a little more beneficial for how I spend time, sort of thing. But credit to people that do it though.
That's why I said before I leave the house, I'm going with what's going to benefit. What I think is going to benefit me the most, which most of the time turns out the place where I can get on stage.
Right.
I need stage time to get better as a comedian. Unless if you tell me Dave Chappelle's performing somewhere and I can go hang out or in like holler at Donnell Rollins, I'm gonna go do that because that I feel like I can probably but just to go hang out with like just some other old comedians that I already know, as opposed to like trying to get stage time, I don't really see the benefit of that. You know? Like,
yeah, I'm with you on that. But it seemed like this was a pretty cool weekend, and we won't touch on it too much, but hope everyone's doing okay. There was another shooting in South Street near the TLA Center last night, and like we said, it was a hot comedy weekend, so a lot of people are out. We were talking before how a lot of times we see those Facebook statuses of people reporting that they're safe after a particular incident, and this was one of the first ones where it was like, oh, it makes sense that you did that. It makes sense that you filled this out because you are in the area. A lot of our comedy friends are going to different spots. We were talking about how Tattooed Mom started their comedy show on Tuesday again on South Street. So yeah, man, be safe in the comedy streets as always. And hope it didn't get too crazy. It's crazy that happened.
Man, it's so crazy right now in the country. Like,
it's like the third one this weekend.
Bro, I had to go to last week, Wednesday and Thursday. Both my daughters graduated. My graduated elementary school, the one graduated middle school.
Very nice.
Very nice, right. I love it. You know what I mean? But like, also, I'm sitting in a crowded room, and I'm sitting here, and it was on my mind is thinking how crazy this country is. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, man, like I don't even like being in situations like this. Like I don't. It's just crazy in this world. Everybody shooting up, getting shot. It's just crazy, man. Like, be safe, man. Like last week. Did you know last week one of the days last week was National Gun Awareness Day or something like that? National
Yeah.
Gun Safety Awareness Day or something like that. So it's like, but it was also National Donut Day. It was the same exact day.
I don't know. That's
You got a free
what's the
donut.
correlation there?
You get a free donut, but keep your head on the swivel. Okay, that day signified.
Oh my goodness, that's
America. It's America is what that signifies.
I have a buddy who he always kind of carries a gun on him, and I always thought like, this is needed. this is needed. We're in Staples right now. What are you doing? Walking around with that
Staples is the worst place to do a mass shooting. That was like 3 people in there ever.
Not that we want to provide a list of the best places, but yes, one of the worst. Staples, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm not a gun owner or anything like that, but now I kind of see his perspective a bit more with everything going on of man, is just protecting yourself or just even peace of mind of knowing that you have some sort of protection. I don't, for myself, I don't, because I never really use guns very often. I didn't really grow up with guns. I don't, for me, I just feel like anxiety around the idea of walking around with a gun nonstop.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, listen, like some people feel as though they feel safer. For some people, having a gun on you all the time is like taking Xanax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm calmer now. It's helping my anxiety. You know what I mean? Like I feel better, but my mental health, my well-being is at ease. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like pop your Glock. I don't know.
I didn't pop my Glock this morning. I know I feel like I don't have any energy. Yeah, I'm sure for many. Well, I always hate to say that we'll see, but that's exactly what will happen. We will see. I don't plan on getting a Oogie Agablaka and saying strap-a-doodle do, but be mindful when you're in crowds, I guess, because things are heating up.
Yeah, man. Everybody be safe, man. Be safe out here. It's just crazy out here. Like I love being in the house. I mean, it's crazy. Wow.
I love being in the house a little bit too much sometimes. I indulged last night. I came back from cat sitting for my buddy John. Shout out to John and Kim. And I came back and I was like, all right, I'm back in my bed. I got some beer and Popeyes, and I'm realizing more and more now that Popeyes is a once a year endeavor. I can't do Popeyes. And this time, even the most, like I got the 10-piece special. I got like 2 pieces in, and it was like, I feel different. It really does feel like, this is not great for my body.
You can feel the unhealthy.
Yeah, really. It's like I'm going for a jog after this in the heat and all that. I just think back of like when I was like in my 20s, how Popeyes was right down the street. And I was like, I would just go like almost not every day, but like at least twice a week and get some Popeyes and just feel fine. But I think I'm just a little more conscious now of like, your body feels a little different after this. Maybe this is a celebration thing. And because it's a once a year thing, you don't have to get a 10-pack. Get 3. You'll be content with 3.
Yeah, like what family are you feeding, Kirk?
I was like, all right, so I'm gonna have Popeyes for tonight, Popeyes for tomorrow, not realizing that tomorrow is gonna be hell because I had Popeyes on Saturday. So I don't know if the leftovers are just there. We'll see. Maybe I'll feel a little better and have more, but it's mainly gonna be a jog today.
You're the only person like this whole topic. It just encapsulate who you are as a person.
Oh boy.
I went, he says, I was cat sitting. I had Popeyes. Like that's you right there, man.
I did have a very Kirk weekend, man. Cat sitted, finished Crime and Punishment, got Popeyes, regretted the Popeyes, and then contemplated what I'll be doing for the remainder of the day. Yeah, no, you're right. The only thing missing this weekend is comedy, so maybe tonight pop over somewhere.
Yeah, man. Well, be safe out here in these streets, man.
Likewise, man. You want to let people know where you're gonna be?
Oh yeah, next week though, I'm going to Miami, bro. Like,
Woo!
like
Yo, domestic Al, you've been traveling.
domestic. And I ain't been international. I was international. Like
you're in Mexico. Yeah, yeah.
This was like way back in January. But yeah, I'm going to do the American Black Film Festival thing that I performed in LA last year. That I was a finalist. Part of my winnings or earnings was going to the actual live festival in Miami, where like all the mover and shakers in Hollywood are gonna be it, and I'm performing on one of the nights. So
damn,
yeah, man, like
that's cool. It's like COVID precautions let down a little bit too in comparison to what it was last year. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, so last year it wasn't even live. Last year we did it in front of a wall of TV monitors with people that were on Zoom.
It looked like some Black Mirror stuff. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So by being a finalist of that, I get to go down to Miami and we do it in front of everybody. It's gonna be lit, bro. I get like it's like 12 to 13 minutes. I'm just using every best joke I got, every A+, and I'm just hitting it. And I'm trying to get a deal. I'm trying to meet somebody. Get something. It's like
hit him with that thunder, bro.
Yeah, man. Nice. That's what I'm doing. I'm excited about that. That's the thing that I'm working towards. Like you said, it gets like my deadline to like tweak certain things and like put it how I want it. Like so, like yeah, I'm leaving like June 14th. Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. I'll see you when you get back, June 24th. The Black Box Theater. On my end, out of towners, Friday, June 10th at 9:15, Steel Stacks. On June 10th, I'll be doing a Father's Day show with Andy Malafarina in Allentown. Quite the mix. I haven't seen Andy in a while, so that's gonna be nice.
How Andy get booked on Juneteenth?
I think I don't know which one of us are headlining. We may have a Monique deal Hugley situation, Andy and I. So we'll see. Well, I may drop my YouTube special very shortly. So that's going to be fun. And I think I'm doing something else in June. I don't remember, but July 12th, Philly's Funniest. Feel free to inbox me I haven't promoted that one at all yet. I've been still talking about the out of towner thing.
It's still early.
It's like a month out. So
it's still early.
Yeah. So but I'll be in that. So feel free to contact if you're interested in coming through for that one.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll be at the HAIM in Philly on June 30th.
Oh, nice.
On and what's it called? And then we had Sex. They have like a live podcast show, like comedian Kristen. She's been doing comedy for a while. They got a podcast that's going crazy right now, and they getting booked everywhere. So I'm performing with them on the 30th at the HAIM.
It's a podcast recording.
They're doing a podcast recording, but I'm doing stand up. So like this, I think there's a couple other comedians, but it's like, yeah, like we did it, like like podcasting, then like
then you jump on afterwards, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, have fun. Cool. Well, thanks for listening. Proper Ebonics episode. We got maybe
113. I don't know.
Where do you get? Oh, okay, I thought you. There's no way that's actually true.
114. I was one off.
How do you guys? Both you guys seem to always just have this on file. How do you know the numbers like that?
Because we care, Kirk.
Yeah. Well. Damn. All right. Well, you guys be easy. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, take your vitamins, and we'll catch you around.
Peace.